Disclaimer: the stories shared on this channel are personal near-death experience and health.
I'm Derrick, 38, born in South Africa and live in Atlanta. On June 12th, I died for 6 minutes.
And what I experienced in that silence. Oh Jesus, I do not want to die tonight. Please, God, not like this. My hand fumbled for the TV remote, knocking over my coffee mug. The mug shattered on the hardwood, steam rising like a cruel ghost in the dim living room. My chest was tight, like someone had tied a rope around it, and every breath rattled in my throat. Dad, are you okay? My son's voice was small, scared, trembling. I tried to answer, tried to smile, but it came out as a rasp. I could not stand it. My legs buckled, and I fell to the floor, my palms scraping against the floorboards, leaving streaks of blood and sweat. I am fine. Just sitting for a minute, I gasped. But I knew I was lying to him, lying to myself. I had spent years being the quiet one, nodding in church, smiling at Sunday dinners, never opening my mouth when I should have. I had hidden my anger, my doubts, my silence that had slowly poisoned my relationships. And now, here I was, collapsed on the floor of my own living room, alone in the dark, listening to the faint hum of the old gospel station in the kitchen. My name is Derrick Collins. I am 38. Atlanta is my home, though it has never really felt like it. I grew up in church, played drums in the choir, even led a youth group sometimes. People would say I was faithful, but faith without action? It is empty. And the silence I held, oh, the things I did not say, were starting to scream in ways I could not escape. I tried to speak again, to reach my son. It is nothing, son. My words cracked, breaking in my throat. But even as I said them, I knew they were hollow. Something inside me was shifting, breaking. Something was coming, and I had no idea if I would survive it. My vision blurred, the room tilting slightly as I tried to push myself up. I will be fine, I whispered, though my body shook like a leaf in the wind. My son crouched beside me, eyes wide, hand trembling as he tried to lift my arm. Dad, you are scaring me, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I closed my eyes, trying to steady my racing heart, but all I could feel were pains. Then I stumbled on a cufflinks of the clothes on the table. I remembered my first wife, then quickly snapped from it. My own voice sounded foreign, cracked like dry paper. The church choir from my childhood echoed in my memory. I could hear Ms. Harris's voice from the back pew, telling me, Derrick, if you see someone hurting, speak. Your silence can wound more than words ever could. I nodded, smiled, and then nothing. Years of nodding, smiling, and walking away. A sudden pain stabbed through my chest, sharper than before, and I gasped. Son, go get your mom. I tried to push myself up, but my legs betrayed me again. Please, Dad, please be okay, he said, tears running down his cheeks. I shook my head. I do not want my son to see me like this. Not yet, I murmured. But even as I said it, I felt the weight of all the moments I had chosen silence pressing down on me. All the times I stayed quiet when I should have spoken. At work, at church, at home, had led me here, alone, trapped in my own body, watching the fear in my son's eyes. The room seemed to shrink. Shadows stretched across the walls as my breathing slowed, the humming of the gospel station twisting into something distant, unreachable. I felt the cold pressing into my skin, my thoughts racing in panic. Was I enough? Did I even matter? My voice trembled, and then a whisper, so faint I thought it was the wind, echoed inside me. Derrick? It is called soft but insistent. My body froze. I could not see, could not move, but the voice pulled at something deeper, something buried under years of pride and fear. I closed my eyes, letting the darkness press in. And in that moment, I felt it, the undeniable truth that something bigger than me was waiting, just beyond the edge of life. And as fear gripped my chest, I realized I was not ready. And maybe, just maybe, I never had been. I felt it first as a tug at my chest, like icy fingers pulling me from the inside. I gasped, my lungs screaming for air I could not grasp. No, no, this cannot be happening. I croaked, every word rasping, jagged. My arms flailed, trying to grab the floor, the walls, anything, but it was like reaching through fog. My body was not mine. My legs, my arms, my chest, they belonged to someone else or something else. Then I felt them, shadows coiling around me, unseen hands dragging me downward, into a darkness I could not comprehend. My heart was hammered. My throat burned. Please, please, somebody help me. I screamed, but no sound came, only the hollow echoes of my own panic. My son's voice, calling from the other side of the room, was distant now, blurred, unreachable. The shadows pulled harder, twisting me through the air. My chest tightened. What is happening to me? I cried, panic clawing through me like fire. Am I dead? Am I dying? A voice, low, firm, yet oddly soothing, broke through the terror. Derrick, it whispered. My body jerked, as if it had heard a lifeline through a storm. Help me, please. Somebody, anyone, God, I gasped. My limbs flailed uselessly. Smoke began to curl around me, faint at first, burning my nose and throat. The smell, it was acrid, metallic, like fire and iron and something worse, something that made my stomach twist. I felt a sudden tension, a pause in the pull. My body hung suspended. My chest heaved. What is this place? Why am I here? I yelled, voice trembling. Fear clawed at me from every corner of my being. My vision flickered, and the darkness around me began to stretch, to twist, to open like some monstrous maw. Then I saw it, a tunnel of fire, stretching into the distance. I was far away, pulled backward, as if I had no control over the direction of my body. The smoke thickened, curling and choking, and the voices came, millions of voices, screaming, wailing, crying out in agony. Some were pleading, some were cursing, all raw and horrific. My own chest heaved, and I pressed my hands over my face. No, no, no. Please, please, God. I did not do anything. I gasped, trembling. What did I do? Why am I here? My voice cracked, high-pitched, breaking under the weight of panic. Please, somebody, anybody, I am sorry. I do not deserve this. I am not ready to die. The tunnel stretched further, the smoke thickening until it burned my eyes. I could hear chains rattling, cries echoing, and the worst, the silence between the screams, where souls were trapped, reaching, clawing, lost. The air tasted like ash, like regret, like every wrong I had ever done condensed into a single breath. And then it began, a vision. It started subtly, like a projection behind my eyes, replaying moments I had buried, choices I had tried to forget. I saw Gloria, my first wife, not as a memory, not a photograph, but alive, real, standing before me in that silent, suffocating void. Her eyes were red, wet with tears that had never dried. I heard her voice, sharp, trembling, like it had been torn from months of frustration. Derrick, why are you always shutting me out? Why do you never tell me what you are thinking? She asked, her hands clutching the edge of the kitchen counter, knuckles white. I remember that night. I had come home late, exhausted, frustrated from a petty fight at work. I had slammed the door and muttered under my breath about how she did not understand. I was tired, yes, but pride filled the rest of me, the part that hated admitting fault or weakness. I was just tired, Gloria. I do not want to fight, I said, my voice defensive. Not want to fight? Derrick, you never fight. You never speak to me when it matters. You just disappear into yourself and leave me guessing. Her voice cracked. The accusation was small, a moment blown out of proportion, but in my pride, it felt like an attack. I clenched my fists. I am not disappearing. You do not understand how hard things are. She shook her head. You are right. I do not understand. Because you never let me in. And that was it. A small fight, a few harsh words, a misunderstanding fueled by exhaustion and pride. I walked out that night, thinking I would cool down, thinking I was justified. I never came back. I never spoke again. I had chosen silence over reconciliation, leaving a wound where there could have been healing. Now, in this NDE, I could see the ripple of that moment. I saw her, alone night after night, crying silently in our empty bed. I saw the years of prayer she offered for me to change, for me to speak, for me to return. I saw the loneliness I had caused by refusing to communicate. Her sorrow, real, tangible, and endless, was a weight pressing down on me, crushing my chest even in this unreal space. I could see the faces of our children, who had grown up never knowing the peace we could have shared. I could see friends we had pushed away, neighbors we had ignored, all because I had refused to speak, to explain, to reach out. And I realized the fight, the misunderstanding, the silence had not only destroyed what I loved most, it had left scars on every soul I touched. My pride had cost more than words could ever repair. Oh God, I muttered again when I saw another vision being played like my life moment replayed, and I saw him. I saw Malik, a friend I once called brother. I had taken offense at him, convinced he had insulted me, and I had stopped speaking. I wrote him off without a word, and he had spiraled into anger, resentment, bitterness, and eventually, he walked away from God entirely. My silence had built a wall that he could not climb. Faces continued to flash. Neighbors I ignored, co-workers I refused to guide. Young people in the church I judged silently rather than reach out. Each one was in darkness, some screaming, others hollow-eyed, their souls trapped in places I could not even imagine. And I had done this. My silence, my malice, my stubbornness, my pride. I felt the weight of every grudge I had held, every offense I had magnified, every bitterness I had cherished as if it were a shield. I saw my life, how I held malice over colleagues for tiny slights, how I refused to reconcile with my brother over small disagreements, how I wrote off friends in letters I never sent. I saw every time I had cut off communication, left relationships fractured, refused to speak love, guidance, or correction. And now, every single one of those moments stared at me, screaming silently in the smoke. A sharp pain stabbed through my chest. I could feel each lie I had told, each apology I had refused to give, each grudge I had carried like treasure, pressing down, suffocating. Why did I leave them? Why did I write them off? I whispered, voice cracking, shaking violently. My knees bent midair as if the pull had weight, and I clawed at the smoke, the voices, the faces, trying desperately to escape the horror. The smoke thickened, curling into my nostrils, burning my lungs, filling me with the smell of fire and ash and suffering. Shadows twisted around me, moving like living things, pushing, pulling, pressing against my chest. No, please no. I am sorry. I am sorry. Please. I did not know. My voice rose, trembling uncontrollably. God, somebody, please. I am not ready. I am not ready. Please don't take me here. I saw Marcus, a friend I had abandoned in his time of need. He had cried for help silently, and I had turned away. Tasha, my cousin, desperate for advice, for love, for someone to care, and I had ignored her in irritation. All around me, souls clawed and reached for help I could have given, and did not. And each tortured soul, felt like fire in my chest. I wanted to look away, to cover my eyes, to escape, but I could not. Every face, every scream, every shadow was connected to me. My choices, my silence, my bitterness, my pride had led them here. It was my doing. I sank to my knees midair, gasping. No, please, I did not do this. I was wrong. My voice broke. I shook violently, tears streaming down my face, or would have, if my body still obeyed me. I never knew my silence, My silence. God, somebody, please. I cannot bear this. The tunnel seemed endless. The smoke thickened, voices screaming louder, chains rattling, shadows writhing. My lungs burned. My chest felt like it would explode. And then, through the horror, through the suffocating darkness, a faint light appeared. It was not soft, not comforting. It was undeniable, warm yet sharp, and it brushed against me, a whisper against the hurricane of my terror. Derrick! The voice was inside me now, not outside. It did not shout. It did not demand. It reminded me, you have seen what your silence has done. Do you see it now? I could only shake, my voice trembling uncontrollably. Yes, I see it. I cannot escape it. Please, please, forgive me. Somebody, God, the light pulsed, brushing past the smoke, the screaming, the fire, the shadows. I felt it call me upward, upward, beyond the chaos, and though I wanted to run, to hide, to disappear, I could not. The visions, the faces, the screams, they had to be seen, and I had to face them. I gasped, my body shaking, my mind overwhelmed, and I knew every unspoken word, every grudge, every silence that had wounded others had led me here. And yet, in that moment, I sensed mercy, faint, distant, but real. And I realized that the only way out was through truth, through acknowledgement, through repentance. And in the silence, I heard the voice again, whispering my name. The darkness around me began to thin, though the screams and smoke still lingered like shadows clinging to the edges of my mind. I gasped, trembling, heart pounding, and then I felt it, a warmth unlike anything I had ever known, cutting through the terror, the weight, the suffocating pressure. Not harsh, not demanding, just present. Derrick, a voice spoke, not with words I could hear, but with words that struck inside me, reverberating in my bones. Why do you hide? Why do you hold so much inside? I shook, tears streaming down a face I did not know belonged to me anymore. I do not know, I whispered. My voice trembled. I have always, I do not speak. The light pulsed gently, filling the void, but it was not a comforting light. It was alive, intelligent, and aware, and in it I felt understood. I know why, the voice continued. I know the wounds no one saw. I know the fear you carried as a child. You believed your voice would only bring more pain. You believed silence would keep you alive. And the memories came, sharp, cutting, unrelenting. I saw the little boy I once was, hiding in corners of the house, terrified, shaking as she came near. My stepmother, the one who was supposed to love me, threatened me, touching me in ways that made me hate my own skin. Do not tell anyone, she whispered, face twisted in anger. If you do, I will make sure you regret it. You will hang from the ceiling, and no one will help you. It had gone on for years. Nights filled with fear, guilt, and shame. Days spent pretending everything was normal. Every word I spoke, every question I asked, met with threat, silence, punishment. And I learned to hold everything inside, to bite my tongue, to stay quiet, to never, ever speak. And now, standing or floating, here in the void of my own failures, I finally understood. My bitterness, my pride, my silence, it all began there. Self-preservation became a habit. Silence became armor. Avoidance became instinct. Love, forgiveness, reconciliation, all foreign words I had been too afraid to practice. The warmth pressed closer, brushing against the smoke and shadows. I could feel it seeping into the cracks of my soul, touching the broken places I had hidden even from myself. And then, for the first time, I saw him, not in a body, not in a human form, but as a presence majestic, holy, undeniable. The kind of presence that makes your chest ache, your knees weak, your eyes burn with a mixture of awe and fear. Derrick, the voice said, tender but firm. Do you see now? Do you understand the weight of silence? Do you understand that even in the darkest moments, you were never abandoned? I understand. I whispered, choking. I was afraid. I did not know. I did not know how to. I was hurting and I did not know what to do. I am sorry. I am so sorry. The presence pulsed with a rhythm that seemed to echo my heart. Yes, you are seen. You are heard. You are forgiven. But you will speak. You will not hide any longer. You will reach out even when it is hard, even when it hurts, even when you fear being misunderstood. Do you accept this calling? Yes, I gasped, tears streaming, my body trembling in the void. Yes, I will try. I will not hide. I will not stay silent. And then a scripture came to me, not read, not memorized, but planted deep inside my being. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groans that words cannot express. Romans 8, verse 26. And I felt it, not as a verse, not as a passage, but as truth, alive, pulsing in my chest. My weakness, my fear, my silence, they could be transformed. They could be used for healing. I wept then, not tears of shame, not tears of fear, but tears of release. The smoke and shadows began to thin. The voices, the cries of those I had wronged were still there, still echoing, but not as a condemnation, not as punishment, as a call to change, a call to life. And in the light, I heard Him again. Derrick, you have seen your failures. You have felt the pain you caused. You have faced the truth of your heart. Now go back. Speak, love, heal. Reach the souls who are still waiting for your voice. Yes, I whispered. I will. I understand. I realized something then, that fear, the silence, the bitterness. They were tools that had kept me alive once. But now they could not hold me. They could not define me. They were part of my story, yes, but not the ending. A gentle pull, not harsh or violent, began to guide me upward. The warmth, the presence, the light, it surrounded me, lifting me above the smoke, above the screams, above the echoes of hell and guilt. I felt weightless, free in a way I had never known. And then, as I floated there, I knew the truth. I had been given a second chance, a chance to speak what I had buried, to love where I had withheld, to reconcile where I had walked away, a chance to live differently, to be different. I opened my mouth, but no words came. I did not need them. I felt it. I felt the mercy, the love, the forgiveness, and I knew I would never be the same. I felt myself falling, or maybe floating. I could not tell. The warmth, the light, the presence I had felt. It pulled away gently, leaving me suspended in silence. My chest ached, my lungs burned, and then I gasped. Actual air. I coughed, spluttering, lungs trembling as the room came into focus. I was on the floor, hardwood beneath my fingers. The morning light slanted through the blinds, cutting through the dust motes in the air. My shirt was damp with sweat. My legs refused to hold me. I collapsed back, gulping, trying to understand what had just happened. Daddy? Oh, Mummy, she's awake, she screamed. And Lisa, who has been performing CPR the whole time, stopped, her eyes filled with tears. Are you okay? Then I could hear sirens, police car lights sound from outside. My daughter's small voice trembled from the hallway. I could hear her bare feet padding toward me. Daddy, what's wrong? Then my son, too, all drenched in their clothes. I tried to speak, but my voice was raw, hoarse, like sandpaper. I'm alive. I rasped, my own words shocking me. Alive, but not the same. I had been somewhere else, seen things, felt everything. I lay there, trembling, my mind racing, trying to piece together the chaos I had just survived. My heart thumped violently, each beat echoing like a drum. I could still feel it, the warmth, the presence, the light brushing against the edges of my awareness. I was not alone. Not ever. I remembered everything. The faces, the screams, the smoke, the terror, and the mercy. Mercy, it wrapped around me like a second skin, impossible to ignore. And then the memories of my silence, my malice, my pride. All the times I had walked away instead of speaking, all the people I had hurt, I felt it all in my chest, heavy, real, and undeniable. I pulled myself into a sitting position, legs trembling, hands pressed over my face. I cannot believe my voice broke again. For the first time in my life, I allowed myself to cry. Not for fear, not for shame, but for release, for understanding, for awakening. I stood, swaying, hands pressed to my chest as if to keep it from collapsing entirely. My daughter peeked around the doorframe, eyes wide. "Daddy, I'm here," I whispered. And I meant it in a way I had never meant before. I'm really here. Every sound in the house, the hum of the refrigerator, the distant bird outside, the creak of the floorboards was vivid. I noticed them all. I felt them all. And I realized that life, this ordinary, messy, fragile life, was a miracle. I sank back into the chair by the window, chest heaving, mind racing, and I remembered the voice, the light, the scripture that had pulsed through me. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groans that words cannot express. Romans 8 verse 26. And I understood. My weakness, my fear, my silence. They could become instruments for good, but only if I chose to use them. I thought of Gloria, of Malik, of Marcus, of Tasha, all the people I had hurt through my silence and pride, all the bridges I had burned, all the words I had withheld. I had been given a second chance, and for the first time I felt the urgent need to make it right. I stood slowly, legs unsteady, and whispered a prayer, my voice quivering but full of resolve. Lord, I do not know how, I do not know where to start, but I am ready. I will speak. I will change. I will not be silent anymore. Show me the way. I looked around the house, ordinary and quiet, and for the first time in years, it felt alive. I could hear the faint laughter of my children in my memory, the whispers of prayers I had ignored, and I knew. I had been given a gift, but how do I tell my wife about my first wife? Will she forgive me? I said to myself. It's been a week now. I sat across from Lisa, my current wife, in the quiet of our living room. The morning sun cut slanted lines across the hardwood floor, and for the first time, I felt like I could see clearly. Not just the room, but myself. My hands shook as I reached for hers. Lisa, I began, voice trembling. I need to tell you something. Something from my past. Something I have carried. And I need your forgiveness. She blinked at me, surprised, but her hand stayed in mine. Derrick, whatever it is, you can tell me. I took a deep breath, trying to steady the shaking in my chest. I was married before, but we never legalized it yet, and we love each other, but I left. Gloria. Who is Gloria? She asked, eyes changed. My first wife. I left her, but why? She struggled to know what happened. I left over something small. A misunderstanding, a fight. But let's say it was pride, silence. I walked away thinking I was justified. And now I see the pain I caused. I am so sorry, Lisa. I should have spoken or tell you all these while, but I did not know how. And I assumed it doesn't matter since it was in the past. So why are you telling me now? She asked. I told her what I saw the day I had an out-of-the-body experience and died. Her eyes softened, though I could see the trace of concern. Derrick, thank you for telling me. I know that took courage, and I am not angry. Thank you, I said and walked to her to hug her. Then I explained how my stepmother molested me as a kid, took away my confidence and made me believe silence was the best. She cried and hugged me tightly. Oh, no wonder you keep things to yourself, and I'm so sorry, but we need to fix things, and I promise to be by your side forever, Derrick, she said. I want to make it right. I need to apologize to Gloria, I said, voice breaking. I want to go to Gloria and apologize, face to face. not to erase the past, but to tell her it wasn't her fault and that I was wrong. She said it's okay and I could go, but I also asked if she could follow me. She hesitated, then nodded slowly. If this is what you need, we'll do it. I will go with you. I tried to reach out to one of her closest friends and explain to her, then she gave me an address and we drove to Gloria's house in silence. My stomach was a twisting knot of fear and anticipation. When we arrived, I could see her in the front yard, older, tired looking, but still herself. My legs trembled as I walked toward her. "Gloria," I whispered, voice shaking. She looked up, and I saw the surprise, the recognition, the cautious hope in her eyes. I left you once, over something so small," I said, tears spilling down my cheeks. I walked away, silent, prideful, bitter. I never should have. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have, but I don't know, I just felt silent was the best then. Her face softened, and for a moment, there was silence. Then she nodded slowly. "Derrick, it hurts what you did, but I see you are different. You are here. That matters." I told her to forgive me and then introduced my wife to her, and she apologized as well to her. We talked for hours. I listened. I apologized for every unspoken word, every cold silence, every choice I made to walk away. I did not try to justify myself. I only tried to take responsibility. By the time we left, I felt lighter than I had in decades, like a part of me that had been suffocating was finally breathing. But reconciliation with Gloria was only the start. I reached out to Malik, Marcus, Tasha, and every friend or family member I had hurt. Some conversations were tense, some were awkward, some were tearful. Some, I admit, I could not repair immediately. But every word I spoke, every apology I offered, was a step toward undoing the damage my silence had caused. One afternoon, sitting in our small living room, Lisa looked at me and said, "You cannot undo the past, Derrick, but you can start living differently. Let's start fresh. Church, baptism, and seeing a doctor to heal from your past trauma." I nodded, tears streaming. "Yes, I want that. I need that. I need guidance. I need to learn how to love better, how to speak better, how to heal." That Sunday, I walked into the church, heart pounding, nervous, but determined. Pastor James welcomed me warmly. I felt the eyes of the congregation on me, some curious, some cautious, some hopeful. When I was baptized that day, immersed in the water, I felt the weight of years wash off my shoulders. I emerged renewed, not perfect, not forgiven fully by those I had hurt, but forgiven enough to start again. Afterward, I sought professional help to confront my childhood trauma, the abuse from my stepmother that had rooted my silence and bitterness. Weeks of therapy, sometimes exhausting, sometimes painful, gradually unraveled the walls I had built around my heart. I learned to speak, to feel, to trust, to forgive myself, to allow myself to love fully. And then, I knew what I had to do next. I had to tell people my story, not for fame, not for attention, but so that others could learn from my mistakes. So that those who were hurting, who carried silent malice, bitterness, or shame, could see a way out. I began speaking at church, small groups at first. My voice trembled, my hands shook, but the truth poured out of me. I left people I loved over misunderstandings. I stayed silent when I should have spoken. I held malice like a treasure, and it almost destroyed everything. Not just my life, but the lives of those around me. I know the cost of silence now, and I am trying to change. People came to me afterward, many in tears. I always hold grudges," a man said, voice low. "I never speak my heart. I just let anger sit inside me. Hearing your story, it makes me realize how much I've hurt people." A woman, shaking, whispered, "I judged everyone in my life silently, and I see now how much pain it has caused." "I have children," another man said. "I've been bitter at my friends for years, for nothing. I never knew the effect it would have. Hearing you, I want to change too." The room was silent then, heavy, thick with reflection. And I realized, The story I had thought was only mine, that I had endured alone, was now touching others. My mistakes, my silence, my bitterness were a warning, a lesson. And in sharing them, in being vulnerable, I could help others avoid the same path. Over the months, I continued reaching out, reconciling, healing, speaking. Gloria and I rebuilt a cautious friendship, founded on honesty and accountability. Malik, Marcus, Tasha, they did not all forgive immediately, but our conversations opened doors that had been slammed for years. And in every small interaction, I felt the presence I had seen in the NDE: gentle, guiding, patient, but demanding truth and action. I began journaling my experiences, posting reflections online, sharing my testimony on podcasts and in small conferences. Each story, each retelling, was a reminder to myself and a beacon for others. Do not hold malice. Do not let silence destroy your relationships. Do not wait for pride to pass before speaking the truth. And slowly, I learned what it truly meant to be alive. Not just in the body, but in the soul. Not just breathing, but speaking. Not just existing, but loving, forgiving, and restoring. One evening, after a testimony session at church, a young man approached me, shaking. I hold so much anger at my father. I have been silent for years. I've been bitter. I think I've been hurting everyone around me too. I see now. I need to speak. I placed my hand on his shoulder, feeling his fear and hope. It is never too late to start. One word, one apology, one act of love at a time. That is how change begins. And I knew this was why I had been sent back. Not just to live, not just to reconcile, not just to heal, but to speak, to share, to guide, to shine a light in the darkness for others who still sat in silence, pride, and bitterness. I had almost lost everything, and now I had been given a chance to rebuild, to restore, to live fully. Not perfectly, not without struggle, but with purpose. I sit here now, looking back at everything. The chaos, the smoke, the terror, the mercy. I remember the weight of every unspoken word, every grudge, every choice to stay silent. And I ask myself, and I ask you, if your heart stopped tonight, would you be ready? I am living proof that even the smallest choices, the words we refuse to say, the silence we cling to, they have power. Power to heal and power to hurt. I saw it. I lived it. I almost lost everything. But mercy found me, and you can be found too. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. Romans 8, verse 26. Even when we cannot pray, even when fear keeps us silent, even when pain has buried our voice, the Spirit intercedes. The Spirit will guide you to speak, to love, to heal. Lord, awaken every heart watching this right now. Open eyes that are blind to the cost of pride. Open mouths that have held back forgiveness. Open hearts that are hardened by silence. Let your mercy touch us all. Let us not wait for tragedy to teach us. My purpose now is to try to reach out to a lot of people, and you can help me by sharing this with 3 of your friends or close family that you know loves to keep malice or love stay silent so they could see this. And tell me where you are watching from so I could include your country in prayers, but what do you think of my story? Because till date I felt if I had spoken out, I might not make silence my only escape from realities and keep to myself for that long until mercy spoke for me. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you are new. And remember, share this video with 3 people who need hope, so they can see the light in the darkness, just as I did. Do not let silence steal another soul. Speak, love, heal. Start today.